In the heart of Nigeria, where the sun dipped into the horizon and painted the sky with hues of crimson and gold, there existed a small village called Akure. Akure was nestled deep within the lush forests of Ondo State, where the whispers of ancient gods still lingered in the air. The villagers lived simple lives, farming the rich soil and honoring the traditions of their ancestors. In the midst of this serene landscape, a legend had been passed down through generations. It spoke of a mystical forest, hidden deep within the woods, where the gods themselves walked among mortals. The villagers called it the EKE Forest, and it was said that only those with the purest of hearts and strongest of wills could find their way in. Afolabi, a young and ambitious hunter, had always been fascinated by the tales of the EKE Forest. He spent most of his days listening to the elderly men of the village recount stories of the forest's mystical powers. Some claimed to have seen the spirits of the ancestors dancing under the moonlight, while others spoke of the ancient gods granting wishes to those who proved worthy. One fateful evening, as the villagers gathered around the fire, Afolabi approached the elderly hunter Oba. Oba was renowned for his bravery and knowledge of the forest. Afolabi asked Oba to take him to the EKE Forest, to show him the secrets that lay hidden within. Oba looked at Afolabi with a mix of concern and curiosity. "The EKE Forest is not a place for the faint of heart," he warned. "Are you prepared to face what lies within?" Afolabi nodded eagerly, and Oba agreed to take him on the journey. They set out early the next morning, armed with nothing but their hunting gear and a determination to uncover the secrets of the EKE Forest. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the air grew thick with an otherworldly energy. Afolabi felt it in his bones, a tingling sensation that seemed to awaken his senses. Oba walked ahead, his eyes scanning the surroundings with a mixture of caution and reverence. Suddenly, Oba stopped in his tracks, his head cocked to one side. Afolabi listened closely and heard the faint sound of drums beating in the distance. The rhythm was hypnotic, drawing them closer to the heart of the forest. As they walked further, the drums grew louder, and Afolabi felt himself becoming one with the rhythm. Oba grabbed his arm, his eyes locked intensely on Afolabi's. "We are getting close," he whispered. "Be prepared for anything." The trees parted, revealing a clearing bathed in an ethereal light. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient tree, its trunk twisted and gnarled with age. The drums seemed to emanate from within its trunk. Afolabi felt a surge of excitement mixed with fear. Oba released his grip on Afolabi's arm and approached the tree. As he reached out to touch its trunk, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, her skin as dark as coal, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly intensity. She wore a crown of cowrie shells and beads, and her presence seemed to command the attention of the forest itself. "Welcome, Afolabi," she said, her voice like music. "I have been waiting for you. You have shown bravery and determination. I shall grant you a single wish, but be warned, the price of your desire may be higher than you can afford." Afolabi's mind reeled with possibilities. He thought of wealth, power, and fame, but something within him urged caution. As he hesitated, the woman's eyes seemed to bore into his soul. "Time is running out," she whispered. "Make your wish, Afolabi, but remember, the gods are not to be trifled with." Afolabi took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. He looked at Oba, who nodded almost imperceptibly. "I wish for the power to heal any wound," Afolabi said, his voice firm. "I want to help my people, to bring them health and prosperity." The woman's face broke into a smile, and she nodded her head in approval. "Your wish is granted," Afolabi, but the price of your desire will be revealed soon enough." As she spoke, the drums stopped beating, and the forest fell silent. Afolabi felt a strange energy coursing through his veins, as if his body was being rewritten from the inside out. Oba grabbed Afolabi's arm, his eyes filled with concern. "Let us return to the village," he said. "The EKE Forest has given you a great gift, but we must be cautious." As they turned to leave, Afolabi felt a searing pain in his chest. He looked down to see a small, delicate flower blooming on his skin. It was a flower he had never seen before, its petals a deep shade of purple. "What does this mean?" Afolabi asked the woman, but she was nowhere to be seen. Oba's grip on Afolabi's arm tightened. "We need to get out of here, now," he whispered urgently. As they stumbled through the forest, the darkness seemed to close in around them. Afolabi felt the flower's petals unfolding, releasing a sweet fragrance that seemed to draw them deeper into the woods. Suddenly, Oba stopped, his eyes fixed on something ahead. Afolabi followed his gaze and saw a figure standing in the distance. It was a woman, her face twisted in a mixture of grief and rage. "Afolabi," she whispered, her voice carried on the wind. "You have taken something that belongs to me. You will pay the price for your wish." Afolabi's heart sank as the woman began to walk towards them. Oba grabbed his arm, and they turned to run, but it was too late. The woman's eyes locked onto Afolabi's, and everything went black. When Afolabi opened his eyes, he found himself back in the village, lying on his mat. Oba sat beside him, his face etched with worry. "What happened?" Afolabi asked, his mind foggy. "You don't remember?" Oba asked, his voice low. "The woman in the forest, she cursed you. We need to find a way to lift the curse before it's too late." Afolabi's eyes widened as he looked down at his chest. The flower was still there, its petals unfolding like a dark prophecy. And then, everything went black again. Afolabi's eyes fluttered open, and he found himself in a dark, damp cave. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sound of dripping water echoed through the cavern. A faint light flickered in the distance, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Suddenly, the woman from the EKE Forest stood before him, her eyes blazing with an otherworldly intensity. "The price of your wish has been paid," she declared, her voice like thunder. "But do you know what it truly costs?" As Afolabi stumbled back to his village, he realized the true cost of his wish. The flower on his chest had bloomed fully, its petals unfolding like a dark prophecy. With every healing, he felt his own life force ebbing away. Afolabi understood that his gift came at the cost of his own mortality. The villagers revered him as a savior, but Afolabi knew he was slowly fading away, his life force draining with each healing touch. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the village in a warm orange glow, Afolabi smiled wistfully, knowing his time was running out, but his legacy would live on.